My name is Janie Richardson. I'm the mother of Corporal Bryan Richardson, who was killed in Iraq on March 25th, 2005. I've retired. I have several hobbies, painting and woodworking that I enjoy, and take care of grandkids a lot. Gold Star Mothers it's actually a national organization that we're a part of. We're the West Virginia department. Our group, our main goal is to memorialize our sons, to keep their memories alive, and we do this by helping veterans, providing funding for some of the nursing homes, the homeless shelters. We purchase clothing, shoes, whatever they need, and individual veterans in need. We have replaced gas lines. We've helped with mortgage payments, electric bills. Anytime someone contacts us, we try to help out. And that is the best way to honor our sons, is to help those that are hurting. And there's a lot of veterans out there hurting that need help. Brian was my second-born son. He was my wild child. If it didn't kill him the first time he tried it, he would try it again. He literally, when he was little, had Superman pajamas and put his cape on and was going to jump off the top of a building because he thought he could fly. You had to constantly watch him. He loved wearing camouflage, had a Rambo knife at about 4 years old, carried it on his hip all the time. He loved to hunt and fish. He was an outdoorsman, loved horses. He was just, he kept me on my toes. When Brian was in junior high, I would go to his room every morning to wake him up. And it was the same thing every day. Mommy, please let me quit school. And I was like, no, Brian, you've got to graduate high school. You don't have to go to college, but you're going to graduate. When he got into high school, that kind of changed. He didn't mind it as much. And he got some really good teachers, and come to find out he was actually a math whiz. He had calculus and all the hard math classes. He enrolled in WVU in the engineering program. He went to school one semester and then came home and told me he was joining the Marines. I said, no, you're not. He said, oh, yes, I am. I said, Brian, you're not joining the Marines. I said, why do you want to do that? He said, if people like me don't sign up and do it, who's going to? How do you respond to that? So he did. He left college, went to boot camp. He came back, went back to college, but he had gotten behind in the engineering program. He transferred to Glenville and went into math education of all fields after begging me to quit school all that time. And he graduated with a math education degree. And from everything I heard, his student teaching, the students loved him, the teachers loved him. And I received his certificate for his bachelor's degree the day he landed in Iraq. He never saw it. So, yeah. I don't remember the year this one was taken. It was at one of their friends' weddings. But that's how Brian was with me. He always hugged me. And that's the best picture I have of us. This picture was taken on Christmas morning before he left. We had such a good Christmas that year. It was unreal. Everyone was just happy, and even though we knew Brian was leaving in about 2 weeks, he was just acting goofy. As you can see, he'd gotten the bibs for Christmas, and he put those on. I think they were waders or something. And I had walked into the kitchen because I was really scared about him leaving. And I had went in the kitchen, and he just walked in and stood there and put his arm around me. I didn't even know this picture had been taken until after he passed away. And it is my favorite picture of him. And that's what I miss most of all. When he went to Iraq, he was the radio controller. for the communications. From what I was told, they went out on patrol that night. There was 2 Humvees. Brian was in one, some of the guys, and the other one had one of his good friends. And the good friend came to see me and told me this. He had a really hard time with it. Their Gatorade was in the Humvee Brian was riding in. And the friend wanted one. And, of course, they were just, fooling around. Brian told him he couldn't have one, So apparently they had stopped. And for whatever, I don't know. But when they stopped, this guy took Brian's seat. So when Brian got back in, he went to the other boy's seat. And that's the one that they hit an IED. And Brian was killed instantly. So the friend actually came to see me and told me he had carried a lot of guilt, as you can probably imagine. One thing I learned is that when you wake up in the morning, you do not know what you'll have to face by evening. Things change just, just in a split second. You don't know what you'll have to deal with by tonight. Just remember the fallen. Always remember that they stepped up voluntarily and to keep us safe. That's what they wanted to do. And it's important that we always honor and respect their memories. I would like for people to understand what a sacrifice that as a country we have had to have. It's not just my son or the rest of our sons, all the way back through history, the price that has been paid for what we have today. And people need to not forget that and to always respect and honor it. The military's kind of gotten a bad name. A lot of people are so opposed, but without it, where would we be? And like Brian said, if people like him don't step up to do it, who's going to? I would encourage any parent whose child is going into the military, support them. That's their decision. And most of them know the risks. Brian knew the risks. And as much as I didn't want him to go, I also knew that was his calling. That's what he wanted. So you have to support him and love him and stand beside him and stay behind them in what they choose. The hardest part for me missing Brian is missing his hugs. He hugged me every time he left the house. That was the one thing, he always hugged me. And I miss that more than anything. If you stop saying their names, they no longer exist. We have to keep saying their names to keep them alive.